Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Nugget Shooterette Expeditions, if you're new to the channel. And today we're doing something a little different and new, which I haven't done before. Like I explained before, quite hot here in Arizona. I'm not getting out detecting as much, so I have to come up with new ideas for videos so I can get my watch hours. And today I decided to interview Mr. Bill Southern.
Hello, hello, hello.
So, we're going to do a little interview video with Mr. Bill Southern, the gold prospecting legend. He's well, as y'all know, most of y'all know, he's well known in the gold prospecting world, and a very good metal detectorist and great teacher. So I have put together about 20 questions to kind of go through with him and interview him. Basically, that's what we're going to do. And guess we'll get started here. It's hot, so it's hot in my office, so we're trying to get air conditioning from his office to blow through here, so this room is quite hotter than the room behind us. So, it's a little sweaty in here. But anyways, let's get started and interview Mr. Southern. Okay, honey. Let's start off with, who inspired you to gold prospect and hunt? What inspired you to even think about gold prospecting, or even what brought that up in your head to metal detect for gold, or to even look for gold, pan for gold, anything for gold?
Two people. The first one is Fred J. Lewis from Charlevoix, Michigan, who was my grandfather and one of my heroes. And he had a little rock shop called Fred's Rock Shop. And he polished rocks and sold Petoskey stones, and I went up and collected rocks with him and all that. That got me into the geology part. And then Buzzard Massey, of all people, from the GPAA, the founder, was on TV one Saturday morning. My motorcycle was broken. I had it in the living room fixing it, watching TV. But back then we kept them in the house,
right?
You know. And so I was working on the bike, and I'm watching this thing. And I'm watching him with a metal detector find nuggets in Alaska. And I thought to myself, well, I can do that. So I went and got a metal detector, and it was a long journey after that, but I got it figured out.
Basically, your grandfather and seeing a guy on a TV show, what metal
George Massey,
got
the
you
Buzzard,
going.
they call him.
And you were about how old? 30-something?
30-something.
Okay. Okay, good. So that will lead me to ask you, the next question is, how long have you been detecting and prospecting? Like, how many years have you put into this field of work?
Close to 30, I think.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of knowledge learning there over the years, I would say. 30 years. That's a long, and I've only been doing what I've been doing.
I think it'll be 30 years and one more year. It'll be 30 years.
And August, for me, what is it? August this year will be 3 years. So I'm just 3 years into this, and he's 30 plus. So big gap there on how long. A lot to learn. Okay, so 30 years. And let's see. Let's ask you this next question. Who was your mentor?
Jim Strait.
And for those that don't know who that guy is, this is a great guy. I had this frame for Bill, but this is Jim Strait right here. I never got to meet him, but I've heard lots of things about the man.
Yeah, Jim Strait was a very special man. He helped me learn how to metal detect, and I'll never forget being sitting on the tailgate of his truck. We used to call him tailgate, but we was sitting on the tailgate of his truck, and I was complaining because I wasn't finding any nuggets that day. And I was having trouble, blah, blah, blah. And he looked over at me with a big grin on his face. I think I'm going to get these words of wisdom. And he goes, "You're doing it wrong."
Yeah.
And it kind of burst my little bubble, but I thought about it, and I realized he was right. And I followed his advice. And
So he just basically told you were doing it wrong, followed his advice, and that's what...
I was moving too fast. I was coiled too high off the ground. Everything I tell people.
Right.
I was doing all that wrong.
Right. Okay. Let's see. What was your first metal detecting machine? Your very first one. What was the kind? Was it
White's Goldmaster.
a White's Goldmaster?
Yeah, long time ago.
Oh. Okay, so White's Goldmaster, first machine. And okay, how long did you detect? Got your machine. How long did you have to detect before you actually find a first nugget? Like, was it months, years, days?
A little bit over a year.
It took you over a year. See, that's a long time
And I found it in my own tailings pile from the dry washer.
from dry washing. See, that's the thing. This is a whole learning journey for me, and still is as we go. Y'all see me from the beginning with Bill, trying to learn to metal detect, gold hunt, prospect, learn it all. But yeah, it can take a year or more maybe for some people, and that's where people start out thinking, oh, I'm going to get all this gold. They get their machine, they get it set up, and then they ain't finding gold immediately, and then it goes sits in the closet, right? That happens a lot.
Yep.
So the key about that is if you got to just be
It's
persistent.
hard work. They realize it's hard work.
And persistence is the key, and never giving up, because you're not going to make it in gold prospecting.
Never give up.
Or metal detecting if you just give up in a month. So keep that in mind, even if it's taken you a year. Like he said, it took over a year for his first nugget. So that leads me to the next question is, so you found your first nugget, and if you don't want to give exact where, but where or close to where was it found, and what was its size?
J2 Roadrunner claim.
Over here?
Mhm.
Oh, where we go all the time.
It's San Domingo.
Okay.
And it weighed just about 2 pennyweight, or 1 pennyweight, I'm sorry, which is about 2 grams, so close to 2 grams.
And that was found with that White's detector, that first detector you
No.
got. No.
I got rid of the whites after about 6 months. And,
Okay.
And I got a hold of a gold bug, original gold
So
bug.
your first nugget ever found was with a gold bug too?
No, gold bug.
Oh, just a gold bug. Okay. Okay. Cool. Which will lead me to the next question, since we're on the subject of machines. Do you have a favorite machine? Do you have one favorite machine, or can you really even answer that?
Can't really answer that.
You use so many.
I have several machines for different purposes.
Right.
I'm quickly gaining favor for the 6000, GPX
Right.
6000 from
Which is
mine,
right here.
which does more than any machine I've ever had in my hands. So right now, at this very moment, that's probably my favorite, with the GPZ 7000 real close. I think the 7000 still has the ability to go deeper on big targets. So
I haven't even attempted that machine yet, y'all. I'm just starting to learn this pulse induction machine right here. So, as some of y'all might have seen in my recent video. So I'm just starting out with pulse induction. But I know I'll do good at it. So right now, you would say the 6000 is your favorite at this moment. Okay. And let's see. Got this one. Let's see what we got next. Let's go into this. These two. I'll start with this one first. What is one of your worst experiences detecting? I mean, have you ever had a bad experience or a bad memory? Because I know I have one, and everybody knows what mine is. My first time detecting, and I got chiggers.
well, I guess I've got a lot, but one that stands out was excuse me. I had a brand new Toyota pickup truck, Tacoma, and I was out hunting meteorites with Larry Sloan. He's passed now. Rest in peace, Larry. And we were out hunting meteorites, and I drove off the edge of a wash and got stuck.
Oh.
But the time I really, and there was no one to help me except Larry, and Larry's like in his 70s, and we're trying to dig this truck out of the wash. We got it loose and out of there. But the worst one was, I was looking for a place called Mexican Hat, they called it, and it was a placer deposit. Somebody had told me about where I could find gold in the wash. So I'm driving around, me and my dog Ben, and stowing that brand new truck. You know,
Ooh.
this is about 2 weeks later, and not Ben, I'm sorry, it was DJ.
Okay.
DJ the Wonder Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And
And we have a Bruno the Wonder Dog.
yep. And I was looking around for this it was supposed to be a rock that looked like a sombrero.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking around for this rock that looked like a sombrero, and I'm just coming up to a little wash, and I saw it off to my right. And I went, there it is! Boom!
Oh.
Okay, well, the wash had washed out.
In a brand new truck.
There was a drop about 3 feet, and my front wheels were hanging over that drop.
Oh.
And I was alone, except for the dog, so I had to jack. I had a railroad jack.
It wasn't far down, was it? Like many feet?
It was about 2.5 feet down to
okay.
where my tires were hanging above the ground.
Oh.
So I had to pile up rocks, jack it up, pile up more rocks, jack it up again, pile rocks up for the jack it up.
And was it hot? Was it hot or cool?
No, it was nice.
That's thank goodness.
So I finally got it to where it was about like this, and I put it in 4-wheel drive and backed up and got out of it.
Wow.
I found a bunch of gold that day, though, so it was a good day.
And speaking of, because you mentioned the word, that's placer, because some people pronounce it placer, but it's placer. Placer deposit. Give us a real quick definition of what that is again.
Gold that has left the host is in the ground.
And it would be anywhere in the ground, or just a wash, or just anywhere
Well, it depends
in the
on
ground?
how it got deposited or how it got there, but yeah.
Okay.
So keep in mind, always look before you drive into a wash. It's either going to be soft sand and you're stuck, or you're going to drop off a little edge. That's not good.
Right. So that's gonna because since we're on that one, and I'll go back to this one, and this will be, what was your favorite metal detecting memory story out of you've done 30 plus years, so do you have a favorite story or memory of them all? I know you have lots of them, but is there a favorite that stands out? Like most?
Yeah, I was hunting up in the Kirkland area of Arizona. I'm not going to say exactly where.
Right.
It's a creek that's now on private ranch land, and you can't go to it. And they won't even let me in there anymore because somebody went there and stole all the batteries out of all their equipment one day, and that was it. Mon Ranches just shut the whole thing down, so nobody can go in there anymore. But I'd been hunting that area for a week or two, and I hadn't found anything. It was rough, and I walked into this little bitty wash about, 200 feet long. And it was nugget after nugget after nugget, and I walked out of there after hunting.
In a wash?
Yeah, and I got 2 ounces that day, and that brings, I guess the favorite one would be a good friend of mine, John B., and I were hunting in an area that I had been told about. The guy gave me some landmarks to follow. He was a hunter, a sheep hunter, but he had the landmarks backwards, so it took me like a year to actually find the spot. And I found a bunch of nuggets there, but I hadn't gone over the hill. Well, my buddy John went over the hill, and he got into another patch, into another wash over there. And he found several nuggets, and I got a couple out of it. And we were going to go back up there a couple weeks later, and it was too hot. He didn't want to go out there. And I got out there and walked over to this big granite boulder, and I got a signal right up against the boulder. You could see there was a crack that went all the way across the wash. And I got down in there, and I got screaming targets, screaming. I'm using I think a GP 3000 then. And I reached down in there when I got real close, because when you get close, the signal gets real loud. You get close, and I didn't want to damage the nugget or whatever was in there. So I reached down in there, I get something really heavy, about the size of a goose egg. And I'm going,
oh, you felt that you had been digging a hole and put your hand down in there?
Yeah, and I was right on top of it. So I went in there and dug with my hand on my scoop, and I got a hold of something about the size of a goose egg, real heavy. I brought it up, and I put it over my coil, nothing. And I looked at it, rubs it off, it was a chunk of galena. Well, pulse induction doesn't hear galena, the older pulse induction. So I threw it up in the bank right there, and I stuck my coil back in the hole, still screaming. I reached down, another piece of galena. Okay, well, it turns out the galena was on top of the gold. So the third time I reached in the hole, I got something about the size of a walnut. And I brought it up, went over the coil, and just woo, and it was a nugget, a real nice nugget with quartz in it.
But of course, that was many years ago, so you've gotten rid of that by
Yeah, well,
now.
there was just under 6 ounces in that hole.
Man, I couldn't imagine. I can't wait. I hope I get over something like that, because y'all know what I'm going to do. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to cry or something silly like that out of excitement, because it's such hard work, and you come across, even when you come across the little ones, you're so excited. So if I come across something that size, can you imagine?
Well, it was hilarious too, because I the whole 6 ounces didn't come out of the same hole. It came out of that wash.
Right.
Out of that one hole, I think it was 3.2 ounces.
And then in the wash, though,
We dug a bunch more.
you were just metal detecting and be a nugget there, like all near each other?
Yep, that was one of the best washes I've ever
Would
done.
you call that a patch?
Yeah.
What line it's like that? Okay.
Okay, the funniest part about that is I was way out in the middle of nowhere by Gila Bend. Okay, so there's no radio stations.
Oh.
And I had a 6-pack of beer with my dog, and I'm sitting out
You're
there.
celebrating that nugget.
Yeah, and I wanted to celebrate that nugget, so I had about 4 beers. I tried to find a radio station. The only station that would come in at AM, the only thing that would come in was a Navajo Indian reservation.
I love that music.
Okay, so I get it on there and it's hey, and it was perfect, man. I started dancing out there.
That would have been cool. That was like a moment.
Yeah, I was pretty happy.
Kind of a spiritual moment in a way, because, man, yeah. So.
But that was, I showed those on my forum and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, of course. So that's your favorite memory, basically. So because we were just talking about patches, this will bring to a little bit more geology question. Is like, what is the difference between a gold vein, a gold pocket, and a patch? Exactly.
Patch is an area where gold eroded out and enriched the ground, and so there's nuggets just laying all over for a certain area.
In a pocket, a gold pocket.
A pocket is where a deposit is eroded down and down and down over millions of years, and the gold is in the rock and it's just falling in the pocket as it erodes.
And it just stays in that one like hole, and you just keep pulling nugget after nugget out of a pocket. A patch is more like sporadically near each other.
And a vein is still in the host rock. That's hard rock gold.
So yeah, so a gold, but you can come across a gold vein, right? See it in a rock, or
yeah.
How would you just pick it out of the rock?
Beat it out of there with your pick. We ran into several out here in the Vulture Mountains.
Because I don't think I've seen one yet. I've not seen a gold vein yet. I have not seen a gold pocket or a patch yet, technically. So
yeah.
I have.
You've been on a patch up there where we go to that private way.
Oh, that is the patch. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. So, and then a simple question, but to inform people that may not know or getting new to this, to gold prospecting, detecting. What is a contact zone?
That's where 2 different minerals meet. Simple as that. And it can be also where 2 different types of alluvial material or sedimentary material meet. Just 2 different zones, 2 different types of rock, 2 different types of deposits where they meet. There's usually a definite line there. And a lot of the washes that we hunt out in the desert are the result of contact zones, because usually it's superheated material up against another material, or it can be contacts from other ways, but where that happens is also a fault line usually, and that's why washes form there, because it's softer there.
Right.
But I'm not a geologist.
I know,
so.
but that's something you kind of want to look for when you're going out metal detecting for gold. You want to look for contact zones.
Depending on the type of deposit.
That may be an indicator that gold's there. Yes. It may be.
Out here at San Domingo, not so much.
Right.
Unless you get into the mountains, into the hieroglyphic mountains, because it's all in the dirt and there's really no contacts or anything right down here in the placer area.
Right. Okie dokie. We're getting along here. Let's see. This is interesting. Well, I'll leave it on this subject since we're kind of on a similar subject, because my uncle actually wanted to ask a couple questions. I spoke with him. Hi, GW. Shout out to my uncle in Virginia. But he says, what exactly are hot rocks? He hears us talk about them in our videos.
When you use a metal detector, you're balancing to the ground. You're trying to make the ground invisible. Okay, so you adjust your sensitivity and you balance to the ground. If your sensitivity is too high, it won't balance, because you're feeding the detector more information than it can handle. So once you get the sensitivity set, you balance your machine and it's balanced. So you're balanced to that particular matrix. So anytime you go over a rock or another mineral that has less or more iron in it, or minerals in it, than the ground you're balanced to, the detector's going to see it as a target, either a hot rock or a cold rock. VLFs are more subject to that. Pulse induction, not so much.
Right.
This pulse induction machine. I
realized that the other day.
That one doesn't hear.
I didn't hear the rocks. Yeah. Okay. So that's that, GW. Here's a question. What? Let's see. No, not that one yet. What's the biggest hole you had to dig for a nugget? Like how deep and how long did you have to dig for it to get to it? And when you did get to it, how big was it? Like, what's the deepest hole? Or hours you had to put into it? Or because I know some of these holes can be so deep to get a nugget.
Just about 30 inches. I was using a 14-inch coil, and it was a 27-pound rock with 19.5 ounces of gold.
Holy moly! So you had to dig about 30 inches into the ground. How many hours did it take you to get that thing?
It took me about an hour, a little over.
That'd take me probably 6 hours digging and trying to dig all that dirt out. But wow, that's amazing. Okay.
No, I was excited. I was pretty sure it was gold because I'd already found some.
That's a big hole.
So I was digging pretty fast.
Okay. What do you feel should be like one of the first steps taken to someone that decided they may be interested in starting out in gold prospecting, gold hunting?
Research.
So.
Research and join a club.
The first step.
Yep. Don't just jump and go out and buy equipment. Decide what you want to do and why you want to do it. And research is the key for us. It doesn't matter how good equipment you buy. If you don't get it over gold, you're not going to find gold. And
Right.
you have to put the machine over gold.
Right.
So if you don't know how to find gold, you aren't going to find gold with a metal detector.
No, because you got to learn the geology and all the stuff that comes along. Yeah.
But not like a college course.
No,
work.
not major.
You got to learn enough to be able to go out and hunt.
Basic stuff, yes. Gotcha. Okay, so then on that note, then what advice do you have for newcomers, beginners? I mean, to basically just do your research before you go out buying a bunch of equipment.
Yeah, and then if you've done that, before you buy a metal detector or something, make sure you're buying from somebody that's going to train you.
Yeah, training is important.
It's very important. And even if you're buying a machine from a guy 300 miles away, it's worth your time to take the trip out there. Even if you're sure you're doing it almost right or pretty good, it's worth $1 million just to have somebody say, yeah, you're doing it right.
Right.
Okay, and that can be worth more than anything. But learn your machine. You got to learn the machine in and out. But if you're going to buy a detector, buy from somebody that will train you. You may be able to save $3 and get a little stupid made in somewhere else piece of junk pouch and a cheap little shovel. Okay, or you can buy from somebody and spend an extra $15 and not get the pouch.
Right.
And end up with training and somebody that'll help you through.
Yeah, so training. Try to get with someone that will help train you.
And there's a lot of dealers out there that will
Yes.
train you. A lot of them.
So,
There's also
you want
a lot
training.
that will not train
Yes.
you. And
So
they'll tell you.
look into that about who does the training and who does not do the training. So
It's as simple as calling them up and asking them.
yeah, basically, find out. And this will lead me one more kind of question. My uncle was saying, so if you decide you want to get into metal detecting, regardless it's coin relic or gold hunting, because you know it's people that coin relic hunt, people that gold hunt. What machine would you suggest for people starting out in either coins, relics, gold, to start out with? Like, you don't want to start off with something real complicated, of course, if you don't know what you're doing in the beginning. So, what would you recommend?
Actually, for coins and relics, you can start out for around $200 to $400 and have a really good machine.
Because then we know
My Lab, Garrett,
it'd be quite pricey.
XP, Nugget, they all make some really good machines in that price range. If you're doing it for a kid, you can still get one for around $199 and trade them. If you're going to metal detect for gold,
you're going to have to spend some money.
you're going to spend around $1,000.
So
Okay,
that's
gold
the
detectors are able to do things that other machines can't do, and as a result, they cost more. Just because you run out and buy a $5,000 machine doesn't mean you're going to find any more gold than somebody that bought a $1,000 machine.
Right.
It's all on how hard you work and what you learn. So basically, same answer as before.
Yep, that was his question. Okay, well, we got his questions out the way. And I think I have all of these. Got those done. Okay. Okay, if you could pick anywhere in the world to go detect, where would it
Australia.
be? Answer that fast.
I've got friends there. I've made acquaintances through YouTube.
I
through
agree. I want to
social
go there
media,
too.
through my forum, through what I do, and I know a lot of people over there, and it would be really nice to be able to go and meet some of these people.
Oh yes,
face to
I
face.
agree. I agree. We have made some friends on YouTube with people in Australia. We love our Australia friends.
We have a trip planned, but they're not letting people cross the border, so.
Yeah, I know. So, but yeah, so that would be if you could go anywhere in the world, it'd be Australia.
Australia.
Okie dokie.
I wouldn't mind detecting in Russia either, but it's
Well,
not,
that'd be
not
cool,
quite
too.
as friendly as.
Right.
I don't
right.
think you could, but Russia you can detect platinum nuggets as big
Oh,
as your
wow.
fist. I
That's
mean,
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your bucket list to find detecting? If you could find just one thing on your what would just this one on your
Gold
bucket?
coin.
Gold. That's the same as mine. He's stealing my stuff, y'all. That's the same thing. I want to find a gold coin so bad.
I've been doing this so long I've never found one. So.
I know. I'm gonna do it too. But yeah. And okay. Just a couple more questions and we'll be wrapping this up, y'all. What is one of the biggest lessons you have learned in your years of detecting?
Slow down.
What's the biggest lesson? Just slow down.
Slow down. The hardest people for me to train are coin and relic hunters.
Because
they
swinging
want to just
faster.
swing 100 mile an hour because you're listening for good sized targets usually.
Right.
And you just listen for something that makes your detector say, oh, stop, something here. We have to move slow.
Oh, we do.
And
really slow.
Our machines are so sensitive, and the way they run, if you move too fast, the machine gets stupid. It just
Right.
it makes too much noise. Again, you're feeding it too much information, more than it can handle.
Yeah.
And it screams at you, stop this!
Slow down.
Yeah. But slow down, that's the biggest.
The biggest lesson
Yep.
of your years.
Yep. And anybody, coin and relic, treasure, gold, anybody will tell you when you're in a good spot and you know you're in a good spot, slow down, overlap your
Because you could,
swings
yeah,
and
because you
really-
could miss that target.
Yes. Well, a guy could get into find a Roman artifact
Right.
and then keep going fast
And miss something
and
right
miss
by
a
it.
gold coin right
Oh
next
yeah,
to
right
it.
next to it. So
Mhm.
there's tongue tied there. There's the biggest lessons he's learned in the years of detecting. Slow down. So everybody listen to that. Slow down. And last but not least, is there anything you love more than detecting? Seriously.
Life, you,
Aww.
the Chihuahuas,
And Bruno.
my
and the
daughter,
babies.
my granddaughter,
Yes.
my dad. Other than that,
But
I would have
it's,
said motorcycles a while ago,
but
no.
you detecting is like
Other than people
your favorite
and
hobby.
living
right,
things, no.
Right. But
No, there
detecting now is basically your best and favorite hobby out of all in things you've done.
Yes, because I'm out in the wild.
We love
Okay,
nature.
I'm out of the house. There's just so much going on in the desert or anywhere else.
Mhm.
The smells, the taste, how you feel. You're on a hunt. When you actually find something, it's the
It's
coolest
so
thing in the
exciting.
world. Even if you don't, you still have
Oh
fun.
no. And that's why I love that we both, you and I, enjoy nature and getting out. So it works well for us as a couple because we enjoy doing it together. So that's pretty cool. So that's about it with the 20 questions with the little legend Bill Southern. And is there anything else you'd like to tell the people? Anything else they need to know or advice?
Thanks for all your support, and that's about it. Yes, I'm a Mind Lab dealer. I don't know if you want to support my channel. I got Patreon. I sell t-shirts and all that cool stuff. Every little bit goes to help us travel around, do some video. And for now, thanks for the interview. Nugget Shooter out.
Okay, y'all. Well, the interview is over. It's a bit toasty in this office, so I can't wait to get out of here. So, you know what I'm about to say? Like always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you enjoy these videos, and see you in the next one.